Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to open a box from Adjustable and integrate it onto a Wildman competition adjustable kettlebell. Today's opening equipment is a Station 9 number 2. It's basically a 7-inch or an 8-inch kitchen knife with a hardcore sheath on it. You cook every day, 2 to 3 times a day. You might as well like the stuff that you cook with. We're going to talk about this in relation to the program Training for Overweight or Deconditioned Individuals. Deconditioned people make up at least 200 million people in North America. Look at this. This is our new bottom half. We'll talk more about why it's here in a second. And we have 2 of them inside of here. And spacers for weights. We have a program called Training for Deconditioned Individuals. All of our programs run in a big series. So we've had a swing program out for several years. The swing program is a multi-year program for people to work on endurance hip snap. Standing up really well for long periods of time under load. A pure math program to start people from a 12K kettlebell or lighter and get them up to a 100-pound kettlebell. It is a very easy way for people to get a lot out of training in a very, very short period of time. The problem is that program doesn't work for everybody. You already have to have a body shape that allows you to do kettlebell swings. With that in mind, we went back and we wrote 2 programs in front of the swing program. So if you think of the swing program as program 3, we went back and we wrote a program 1 for deconditioned people. People who've been in the hospital, people who have been extremely injured, people who are post-rehab but have not recovered their full athleticism yet. That would be program 1. And then program 2 is getting people to the swing program, program 3. Over time, we're gonna make this more clear on the website, and we're gonna lay it out and graphs and charts and everything so people can really understand what they're seeing and talking about. But one of the most important pieces of equipment that you can get to accomplish the most fitness in the least amount of time for the least amount of money is a competition adjustable kettlebell. This is the Wildman adjustable kettlebell. Competition means that this outside shape stays the same. Adjustable means we can alter the weight inside of it. The Wildman edition of the competition bell has extra plates in it, more than other companies, so that you can adjust it into half K increments. An increment so small, it means that almost nobody can fail. I designed the TOI program, the Deconditioned Individuals program, for people recovering from severe injury originally. I was severely injured. I ripped my leg in half, dislocated the knee, and did not walk for 6 months and spent 2 years in rehab. There is a problem in the fitness industry, and it is that people are either writing programs for people who are already very conditioned, because they want to write programs that look super sexy on camera. Lots of jumping up and down, spinning around, everybody looks very cool. Great, there is a place for that, but that is 1% of the actual population of North America. 30 to 40% of the population of North America has moved towards the obese category, and they are in the deconditioned obese category, deconditioned heavy set people. Another 30% of that, 30 to 35% of that is heavy deconditioned people, not obese, but just heavy. Most programs are not written for deconditioned individuals. The most important thing that you need when you are deconditioned is you need to learn to stand back up. When people become deconditioned, they tend to sit down for long periods of time. They essentially become chair or bed shaped. I know because it happened to me when I ripped my leg in half and I wasn't allowed to stand for 4 months. Your body becomes chair shaped. And the most important thing that you can do is learn to stand back up again. The deconditioned program does that by loading one side of the body at a time so that the core fires harder, and it gets people to do single arm deadlift a squat, get down to a target and stand back up with a weight in front of you, an overhead press, and a shield cast. You can start with a bunch of different types of equipment. Could be a water jug, could be a dumbbell. The gear that we would like people to eventually get is a competition adjustable kettlebell, because you will be able to use this for the next 10 years. You can start as a deconditioned individual and you can start training, and then you can use the same piece of equipment, $250 to $300, and you will use it all the way up to professional level athletics, the same piece of equipment bought once. The problem with the adjustable kettlebell is it only goes down to 12K, which is too much for deconditioned people. Therefore, this company, Adjustable, has designed this to go on the bottom. This is the Mark Wildman edition, because we all came up with this idea and group thought about this idea together. This bottom half of the kettlebell takes this 12K bell and it makes it 8K. It takes it down into the 17-pound range. That is still too heavy for most people, but buying this and this together expands this bell from 41 weights into the 60 weight category. You will have 60 weights to be able to work with. We can start with an 8K, we can add a half a K plate, we can go to 8.5K, 9K, 9.5K, 10K, all the way up, half K increments up to 32K. But we get from 8 to 12 in half K increments by adding this thing. That means you can start with some of your exercises and work your way up to them. There is no perfect gear solution yet. What most people in the deconditioned program may need to start with is something like this. This is a 4 kilogram, 8.8 pound competition bell from ProKettlebell.com. Two companies that are making a good kettlebell. Bells of Steel makes a good 4K and a good 6K. Pro Kettlebell makes a good 4K and a 6K. The Pro Kettlebell is hollow and you can attach magnetic weights. We have some other videos on that. We'll drop in some footage of magnetic weights in here so you can see. 4, 5, 6, 7K gets us to 8K, gets us to 8.5, 9, 10, all the way up to 32. The goal is to repeat training so that you get extremely good at it, but you need to start with a weight light enough that you can accomplish an overhead press. Most people may not be able to do an overhead press right off the bat with an 8K. That is fine. Everybody starts somewhere. When people train, they will find that one side of their body probably works well and one side does not work well at all. The point is to start with the side that doesn't work and match the good side to that. We don't want to have a strong side because it builds the capacity for future injury. If one side of your body is very strong and one side is not strong, something will eventually give way. So we start, usually people, it's their left hand, and usually left hand is the limiting thing. The reason we start as low as 4K is they don't come any lower than that in competition size. Competition size means that the technique stays constant. So once you get good technique, it stays forever and it becomes repeatable. Good technique means you don't get hurt. When you don't get hurt, you continue to train. When you continue to train, you become conditioned. When you become conditioned, you lose weight. You get what you want out of training. You live a better quality of life. The goal is not to look good. The goal is to get in good enough shape, have good enough recovery that you can go out into the world and do cool stuff, because that's really the point of life. This can allow you to start the swing program sooner. So you can do program 1, deconditioned individuals, run it for 4, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months. The more weights you have available, the more likely you are to succeed. I'm gonna repeat that. If you have a 4, a 5, a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10, an 11, and a 12, each one of those is a month-long cycle. When you get to the point where you can overhead press a 12K weight, you are doing very well. Now you can move into the Intro to Kettlebell program. You could move a little sooner, maybe at 8K if you wanted to. Then you can start the swing program. If you start the swing program, now you have a strategy that is multi-year that will start to build you up towards world-class fitness in a small space, in your own living room. Always the goal is for everybody to become reconditioned, because the goal is to get everybody back out in the world really enjoying life.